Hey everyone, welcome to the One Brick Studios Workshop. Today I'm here with my sister Bethany, and we are going to be making a, what do you call this?
It's a life casting of your face. So it's going to be using silicone and plaster bandages to do a life casting so I can make a plastic copy of this.
And she's doing that because she is going as a Phantom of the Opera for Halloween, but
Yes.
kind of a twist on it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Doing sort of the female version, just a nice sort of 1930s look. And I just want to do a scarring on one side of my face, but I want to sculpt it so it actually fits to my face. So it's not just sculpted on something flat and then you kind of have to adjust it to make sure it fits. I want it to be like perfect for my face. So that's why I'm doing a life casting, so I don't sculpt on my face because you can't put clay
Right,
on your
so
own
you have
face.
Your own face
In
there,
front of
so
you.
you can like make it fit for you
Mm-hmm.
perfectly. And this is what they do in Hollywood for, like you said, special effects artists for like Doug Jones,
Mm-hmm.
who is known for like not Lady in the Water. That's the terrible M. Night film. Shape of Water. Thank you. Also, Zach is here. He is our cameraman. Yeah, it's been awesome. We got a new camera mount, so we're going to go into that. So what do we need to do here to make this face mask?
Well, the first part is we're going to be using a platinum cure silicone. This is from Smooth On. It's called Body Double Silk. I decided to get silk just because it's you don't need to have any kind of release put on to your face ahead of time. It's also really good for people who have beards.
So what would a release be?
A release, it's a cream. Smooth On sells a release. I'm not quite sure if there's what other ones. I know some people use Vaseline.
Okay.
Just pretty much something to block the silicone from ripping the hair out of your face.
But this kind doesn't need that.
No, it does not. I just got this is just a trial version. Really, I only need a small amount because I just want to do, pretty much just the outline of my face. I mean, it's not a full head cast.
Mm-hmm.
The full head cast would be, from here all the way around your head with a bald cap on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have two separate face casts in resin, but that's another whole step that we're not covering today.
That will probably be a different video. So right now
Yeah.
we're just working on the face mask.
Yeah, just during the live casting of my partial live casting of my face. So the first step is going to be taking the Body Double Silk. These are just even part A and part B. So I'm just going to fill it up all the way. These are little 5-ounce cups. So I'm going to fill these both up. We're going to mix them together, and then it's going to get applied to my face directly. There's no other step before that. We'll let that dry. The cure time is about 6 minutes, so we're going to let that dry to a sort of a tacky. It's not going to be completely dry. It's just going to get to a sort of a tacky stage, and then we apply the plaster bandages. So we're just going to go all the way around. Plaster bandages, you just get wet. That's what I have my handy bowl of water for. You dip it in like this, and you're going to then squeegee it between your fingers because you don't want it like dripping everywhere.
It's like paper mache.
It's literally paper mache. We've done these projects before,
Okay,
like when
cool.
we were like 10.
Right, cool,
We have
cool.
the this before. So it's literally like that. We're making a piñata.
Yeah, totally.
That's what we used, plaster bandages.
So
So-
the resin, no, sorry, not the resin, this silicone that you're putting on is to capture the details on your face because the plaster would not get the details, and also you said it would, it heats up.
It's
so-
potential to burn or at least really irritate your face.
Okay.
It's some people talk about they do this, and then a bunch of other special effects industry people say do not. But also it's mainly because it's very porous. It's not going to get all the details of sort of every little shape bits and piece of your shape.
But the silicone doesn't maintain it. It will get the details, but it's also very flexible and floppy, and so you need the plaster to keep the in its place.
It's literally its shell, because the silicone, once we take it off, is just going to be really floppy because
Okay.
it's only going to be less than 1/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And so it needs to be, you have the shell, once this dries, you take it off, you then peel off the silicone and then place that inside the shell. And so it's all together, and then you cast it in resin, or that other next step. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, great. So we'll get Bethany all prepped, and we'll get started. Oh man, this is so much better with people. It was so lonely in the workshop by myself. Okay.
Bon voyage.
Okay.
Oh boy.
No facial expression.
I have no idea what I'm doing. It's like that old Nickelodeon show.
Oh, the with Gak.
Yeah.
Slime, yeah.
Okay, so I gotta be careful around the nostrils. That's where the only spot you can breathe.
It's coming out pretty nice, dude.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm getting first coverage, and then I'll go back through. Okay, I can start feeling it just starting to, I can still manipulate it, but it's getting there, so let me, this is really thin. This is really thin.
Yeah.
This is thin. So what I need to do is let this dry, and then I'll put another coat on. Okay, so what I'm doing is just applying it to the thin spots. The spots especially where I can see her skin just coming through the silicone. This is my masterpiece. Okay, so you used about 3/4 of that, maybe 2/3. So we could do a little less next time. But now we wait about 6 minutes until, okay, more than 6 minutes? 10 minutes. All right, I know what I'm doing. Oh God, this looks terrible.
That's exactly what she wants to hear right now.
All right, let's remove that. I'm taking off my gloves. Yeah, now we wait. What have I done? All right, now it's time to do the plaster. We've let the silicone set for a few minutes. It's tacky, so I'm taking the plaster, these strips, they're cut strips, and I've doubled them over. I put them into the water, go through down like that, and then I want to get rid of the excess water like that, and I just take them over here and put them over everything except her nostrils, so I don't know what I'm doing. No, across the front, that would make more sense. Okay. Define the shape more to hold it. Okay, I got you. Oh, I'll do that in a second. I need to get a thinner one. Yep, and then another one on top. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, great. So now we let this dry for some determinate amount of time that Bethany will let me know. 1 minute? More than one? 10? 20? 20-ish. Okay, cool. I think we're good there. All right, so we've waited about 10 minutes and the plaster has dried. The trick is you take your fingernail and you kind of just put it in, and if your fingernail does not go in, you're good to go. So the bottom might, we'll see. So we just grab and yank and, no, I think you just pull carefully. I don't know. You start from the top? Okay. Well, I guess Bethany will do it.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, so that's the plaster. Ooh, there's some hair with that. Free me.
It's trapped on some of my hair, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I see that. You need like the medical scissors?
I think she's
You
got
bring
it.
scissors over here, I will smack you silly.
Okay. That looks okay-ish, I guess.
Yeah. So there are some bubbles, it looks like. This looks like there's some makeup I didn't take off.
Oh, that makes a really funny kind of a face when you look at it on the inside.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Go wash your face, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Okay.
Well done, everybody.
Yay.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that went pretty well. We obviously had first time mistakes, but that's just to be expected. One of the things is we definitely mixed too much silicone for the first batch. We have about this much left. The cup was, about this full, so a little over a third. It just started to harden quickly before I had time to apply it to Bethany's face. So next time we know that for one of these cups, or at least Bethany's face, and I assume most faces, instead of doing it all the way up, we would do more like 2/3. But that's part of it, and you were looking at it,
Well,
you've noticed some things.
I do want to make a note about the silicone. With silicone, it's better to make smaller batches than overshoot and then waste silicone like this because it is expensive. So that was my fault for kind of overestimating and not having him do a little bit less. Because you can always do more batches on top of the silicone because it adheres to itself. As for the face, there are a few sections. These air bubbles that didn't get pushed out just above the eyebrow. There's a couple of areas near the lips. But other than that, there's a few thin sections in the chin. I probably will not do anything with those just because if I add silicone onto the chin area, even though it's thin, the plaster is already made to fit this floppy thing, and if I do too much, then it might push the silicone in odd directions and make my chin weird, unless it gives me a cleft chin, and that'd be kind of cool. What I'll probably end up doing is when I do my cast and resin, I'll just fill any kind of air bubbles or any type of issues that we had with epoxy putty or something like that, or mealy putty, something that will just harden over there, and then we can use a Dremel to sort of, maybe not even Dremel, just a little bit of light sandpaper
to fix it up.
To fix it, because you don't want to get rid of all of the texture and the pores of the face with that too, so you have to be kind of careful about how you finish it.
And to be clear, this is why we both have a silicone mask and the plaster. Is this silicone mask, you would not be able to put a resin into it because it's way too floppy. The resin will just pour out and would not maintain, this mask does not maintain its shape. So this plaster will hold the shape of the silicone mask, and then in a future video we'll go over how Bethany puts together a resin cast, because then with the resin cast, that's what you'll use to build makeup like scars on, or your partial face mask like for your costume. This is just the first step to create the next thing, which is then the thing we use to make the final product. It's a multi-step process.
But I know it'll be really helpful for just future projects of having something, a cast of your face.
Great. Okay. Well, Bethany, thank you for showing us how to do it, because I had no idea what I was doing. And
you did a great job.
I think it turned out pretty well.
I'm
also,
alive, so
yeah, you're alive, so we did not fail there. Also, thanks to Zach, our cameraman,
woo, woo, woo.
doing amazing. And thanks for guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Yay!
Yay!